Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. I'm Adam Freeman, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee, and coming off of what some people would call the best day in NFL football, the championship games back to back. I don't know about you, Paul, but I watched them yesterday. Um, just it's one of those deals where you look back, and I guarantee you, Aaron Rodgers is looking back thinking, man, there's a couple times I had guys wide open. My man Devontae Adams, I had him at the end of the game. I didn't see him. And so he's going to have a lot of regrets. Um, but I tell you what, the surprise was, I mean, as good as Brady was in the first half, the Tampa defense, to me, just they won the day. I mean, they get a turnover early in the second half to convert, and it was pretty much Green Bay playing catch up after that. It was 28-10, and they're just struggling to get anything going. Um, and what were your thoughts on that early game, the Green Bay Tampa Bay game? It was the best game of the two, no doubt.
Right, right. Well, I guess my quick thoughts on the game were that you talked about the defense stepping up for Tampa, the coaching debacle of LaFleur, and how Aaron Rodgers at the ripe young age of 37 has put his trust in a 41-year-old coach who decides to kick a field goal, and instead of putting it in the hands of potential most valuable player candidate in the NFL on fourth down, the outcome was the same. You still lost.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
let Aaron Rodgers figure it out.
yeah, let
You
it be on.
didn't you didn't take one snap out there, Matt LaFleur. So
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
yeah, the thing about that was too, you kick the field goal and then you never get the ball back. You had to figure that was a possibility. Okay, that you're not getting the ball back. You got to, I mean, at that point, you got to play like you're not getting the ball back, and we got to do whatever we can. We got to put as many points on the board as we can, even if it's a risk, because you know if you lose, you go home. I mean, it's not like we regroup and next week we figure it out. This was for all the marbles. This was for the trip to the Super Bowl. I really don't get that call. I really don't. Um, eh, you know, I guess I don't know what he was thinking, and I'm sure he will get second guessed for that quite a bit. And there's going to be some second guessing in the later game as well, but not nearly as scrutinized as probably um, as Lafleur's decisions are going to be. Did you happen to see, Paul, the gentleman on FanDuel that placed a $5 bet on a six-way player prop parlay and won $2,200?
That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, he tweeted. He said, "Are you guys broke yet?" I mean, I think he had Tunyon scoring a touchdown. He had Adams scoring anytime touchdown. He had Jones on the under rushing. He had Rodgers on the overpassing. He had Mike Evans scoring the first touchdown. It was just like all the stars aligned for this guy uh, on that particular Sunday and that particular game. But yeah, that early game, you talk about, just they had three turnovers and they got 6 points off of it. You can't win like that, especially in a game like like the championship game.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the nightcap game. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Which, oh, by the way, I know you know this because you're a Titans fan. Tennessee in 2017 had the number 5 pick in the draft, right? Mahomes
Sure.
was picked 10th. Could have had my homeboy.
Well,
Could have had him. Could have had. You know who they picked?
do I know who the Titans
Ti-
picked in
Titans picked.
2017?
at number 5 over
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
The number one receiver selected out of that draft.
Yeah. Corey Davis. You took Corey Davis. And now in 2017, as tight, what were you thinking? You're thinking, we've got our quarterback in.
Correct. Mariota.
We don't need a quarterback.
Well, and here's even the crazier thing, right? Mahomes goes 10, Deshaun Watson goes 12. But you talk about the order of wide receivers. Corey Davis, first receiver off the board. But if you look at the other first round picks at the receiver position, Mike Williams for the Chargers. I mean, he's
always hurt.
Yeah, he's okay. John Ross for the Bengals. I mean, the guy can't get it together. And that was it. That's it.
Yeah.
So
it was. I think Corey Davis can be good. I don't know if he's number 5 overall or is ever going to be worth his number 5 overall draft position.
No.
To hit 100 receptions in a year. Of course, Tennessee's offense is not predicated on the pass, so that's going to hurt his numbers, obviously. But anyway, so getting back to Mahomes, Kansas City trades up, gets him. He sits behind Alex Smith, who we're starting to figure out is a pretty darn good player and really smart. He was a number 1 overall pick. Learned behind him. He gets traded, and it's Mahomes' team. And now he's the only player in NFL history to make 3 straight championship games before the age of 26.
I mean, he's a majority owner for the Royals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's
doing okay.
Wife is too. Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing okay. Just signed a big $450 million contract that's going to keep him there for the next 9 years and 10 years, including this one. So yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. And one thing I noticed about that game last night was I think they had 16,000 fans in Kansas City. There were there were only 9,000 at Green Bay. There was 16,000 at Arrowhead. Dude, it sounded like there was 70. They were so loud. That has to make a difference. And I'll tell you another thing too. From the absolute jump of that game, Kansas City's defense, it was like they were on a mission. Like they were cheap shotting people. And I mean, they didn't get any flags thrown on them, but they were imposing their will on Buffalo. And I think they had enough of the Bills Mafia talk for the whole week. And they were like, look, this is basically, they came in there and they're like, look, man, they went down 9-0 off the turnover was a gift. And Buffalo never really did anything after that. Kansas City, I think they scored 21 in the second quarter, and they were off and running, and that's what they do. And here's one thing too that I didn't quite understand at the end of that game. So Buffalo goes down and they score a touchdown to make it 38-21. And they go for 2. Now if you just kick the extra point, you're down 2 scores. If you go for 2 and get it, you're still down 2 scores. So if you go for it and don't get it, you're down 3 scores. I don't understand the thought process of Sean McDermott at that point. Just kick the extra point. And who would have known they get the ball back on an onside kick, which hardly ever happens. I mean, they could have gone down, made it touchdown, 2-point, made it 38-30, and it gets interesting with the onside kick. But they didn't. They go down and kick a field goal, and that was pretty much ball game right there. And I'm sure we'll have a Super Bowl pregame or prediction show later, and we'll get more in depth into it. But what do you think going in Mahomes versus Brady part 5? Who's got the advantage?
I'll be honest with you, Adam. I don't think it's even going to be close. I think the Chiefs are going to roll this thing based upon my back screen, my take the Chiefs, give the points. and collect your money because this one is over and done for. I mean, Mahomes is, dude. You know, you feel like if you get 8 possessions from the Chiefs, they could score on five and a half,
6.
6
Yeah.
easily. And you know, now you're letting Mahomes go down to you know, or warmer weather. Kelsey's going to be stretched out. Hill is ridiculously fast. I mean, it's not
I
even
mean,
fair.
and don't forget about Mecole Hardman. He showed you
Yeah.
how fast he was too. So they got. Here's the problem: if you double Hill, you can't guard Kelsey, and vice versa. It's like pick your poison. What's it going to be? And then they got Edwards-Helaire and they got Williams that can run the ball if they want to. I mean, it's just and there's just so many wrinkles in what they do, and they do new stuff every single game. They're the most innovative offense in the NFL. Tampa, I don't know. I mean, they were able to get on Aaron Rodgers, but he's 37, man. I don't think you're getting on Patrick Mahomes. And even if you get on Patrick Mahomes, he has a way of getting out and making bigger plays down the field and just finding people, throwing, no look passes and sideways and underhanded and everything else. I mean, I think you're right. What's the early line on this one? 6,
3, 3.
3. Oh, are
Yep.
you kidding me? Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. You'd have to jump on that.
Already did.
Big or no?
I feel pretty confident.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, man. It's I can't. I would have said 6, 6.5, which it may get to that. I don't know, but man, that's I can't believe it's only 3. I guess they're going on
Well,
the GOAT status of Tom Brady. Just
that's right.
going to be willing. That's worth probably 4 points right there. Just Tom Brady in uniform in the stadium, getting the ball snapped to him is worth that much in his experience. But this is 10th Super Bowl, dude. 10.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And he should have won 2 more. Should have beat the Eagles. Should have beat the Giants. What other one did he lose? He lost. Shoot, who did he lose to?
Well, he should have won one of those, but he probably should have lost the Seattle one,
Oh,
where the
yeah, for sure.
where Marshawn Lynch became a non-factor on a goal line offensive stance.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that was unbelievable. Yeah, true. So, I would say he should probably have 7 then. 7 going on possibly 8 if he wins this one. And that's just incredible. Well, that's our NFL. Let's go. Let's talk about some college basketball, Paul. Tennessee, I don't know what their problem is. They've got like Kentucky-itis or something. Cuz like they can't shoot. And they lost to Missouri, like who they beat by 20 points a month and a half ago at Missouri. And Missouri just handled them like no problem in Thompson Bowling. Didn't see
yeah,
that coming. Didn't see it
I
coming.
know.
I also didn't see coming Kentucky handling LSU the way they did and scoring 82 points, which is their season high, believe it or not. They average like 62 a game.
Well,
I literally have no idea what Kentucky is going to do when they come on the court. They could be like the worst team ever, and then they could pull something like this and actually play really well. There was some times there when it looked like LSU was going to make a run, but they cut it to like 7, and Kentucky would go up by 10, and then they would just back and forth. And um, I still don't understand why Calipari doesn't play Allen. I understand he's not great on defense, but who cares? I mean, he's the only guy that can shoot. When you take him out, then you got Askew in there, Sideshow Bob, and he's up there chucking threes, and he's terrible. And I don't know if you noticed it. Did you watch any of the Kentucky game, or did you just watch the?
no.
Yeah. The media is really trying to play up BJ Boston big time. Like he had 18 points against Georgia, who's terrible, who we lost to at the buzzer, which was an awful loss. I mean, 18 points. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy's a 5-star. He should be doing that and more every night. He should be scoring 20 plus every night and shooting 60% from the field. But he's shooting 18% from three, and he keeps taking shots. It's killing me.
Well, it's kind of the old adage. It's buy and sell, right? I'm buying Kentucky. I'm selling Tennessee right now. But if I had to put all my chips in the middle of the table, I'm going to take the Crimson Tide right now.
Oh, Kentucky's got to play. Yeah, Kentucky's got to play them tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the deal is with that game. The duel is with that game. Uh, as far as your background there, but I'd say that's about like going with your homeboy Mahomes if you're going Bama on that one.
You want to go ahead and lock it down?
I get back with you.
Okay. Hey, let me tell you one more team that I'm if we're talking about buying and selling, here's who I'm selling right now. I'm selling all the marbles on the Duke Blue Devils basketball team right now. Krzyzewski's in a hot mess. We got student reporters from Duke that are just getting on him, and Krzyzewski's like screaming at him at post game. I don't know if you heard this story or not, but
I did not.
It's a classic where Krzyzewski's just pretty much fed up, right? He is over the top done with all the amateur hour questions. But here's the problem.
He wants the season over because it's too dangerous, and he's at 500.
Yeah, I mean this guy. I'll to be honest with you, I'll never forget. When I was a younger coach, just first starting out, coaching clinics were a big deal, and obviously the lineup, the coaching clinic I went to included Mike Krzyzewski. Man, I was all for it. It was back in the day of, the dream team and all this stuff, and I was like, yes, this is what I want to hear. Nope. I'm giving him a double thumbs down on his clinic speech. It was profanity laced. It should not. Listen, we had a lot of people there. And listen, people use inappropriate language all the time, but Krzyzewski was over the top, did not provide anything that I could gain from. He was a resume builder, is what I like to say. When people tell you what they've done, listen, I already know what you've done. Tell me what I could do to.
That's why I'm here. That's why I paid $275 for the clinic.
So
I didn't come here to get cursed at, and you read me your resume.
Yeah.
Which
thumbs down to Krzyzewski. And Roy Williams is not that much further behind on the selling list. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to listen, we always Gonzaga, right? Iowa, Baylor. I think the Crimson Tide have something special brewing, and you will get to see firsthand, Adam, obviously with the Kentucky matchup, they do against somebody that is athletically. They took care of Tennessee, who I feel is one of the top 3 athletic teams in the SEC. So I think things are, things are brewing. The storm is brewing. Nick Saban's all of a sudden looking around going, wait a minute, are we a basketball school now? Yeah, you better believe it.
I mean, they're 8-0 in the SEC. And, the Mississippi State gave them a little bit of a game. They only won by 8. They pulled away late, tight most of the time. But they've already beaten Kentucky by 20. And, I don't know what's going to change on Tuesday night. I mean, here's the thing about Alabama is you look at the metrics. Like, they do not shoot mid-range jump shots. They shoot layups, dunks. They shoot in the paint, or they shoot threes. They don't shoot pull-ups. They don't shoot 12, 15 footers. That's not in their arsenal. They just don't do it. And the reason they don't do it is because they're so good at the other things. I think they probably got the player of the year, the guard that they have. Shoot, I can't think of his name now, but shoot. shoot, I can't think of his name, but he's a guy that you know every night's going to give you 17 points, 8 assists, 6, 7 rebound. I mean, every single night. Um, and then you got guys like John Petty Jr. who have been around, who are now veterans, and then they got these younger guys that are really good. And it could get ugly tomorrow night. It could get really ugly. Um, and
Yeah.
Kentucky better be on their game, on their defensive game, and guard that 3-point line with their life, because they shoot, I think, about either 28 or 33s a game on average. That's just what they do, and they're
Yeah.
good at it. So why not? So,
Hey, let me. I got to mention Nate Oates, right? Nate Oates, the coach for Alabama. I don't know if you know, obviously, where he came from, where he'd been.
Buffalo, he's from Buffalo.
Right, he was Buffalo. He was a Buffalo for 4 years. He was an assistant at Buffalo. Do you know who hired him?
I do not.
Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley. This guy was a 13-year high school coach, and Bobby Hurley was like, I mean, he was winning 81% of his games in high school up uh, in near Detroit, and so I mean, Nate Oates is he? I mean, is he the next guy? I mean, the question is this: if Nate Oates wants a bigger, better job, or will Alabama all of a sudden pony up if they make a run deep in the tournament and they see that the basketball program is just all of a sudden taking off? I mean, does Nate Oates leave for a UCLA esque?
Blue blood.
Yeah, I mean, really,
Here's the
right?
thing. I think if that happens, like they run away with the SEC and they get Elite Eight, possibly Final Four, they're good enough to do either one. I think if you're Alabama, you lock him up. You lock him up. You pull a Calipari on him. You lock him up 8, 10 years.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
shoot, you
right.
do that, and all of a sudden now recruits are like, hey, this dude's going to be here,
Yeah.
and they'll come. And they'll come. There's a lot of good basketball players in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas that he could go
Yeah.
get, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, Alabama basketball is definitely on the rise. Um,
Okay. I got to ask you this, Adam. I know you're
talk
not
to
an
me.
NBA guy,
I'm not.
and this word just came out just a few hours ago that the Brooklyn Nets, right now that the big three are looking
Oh,
to add another piece to this, and they are looking to bring in Kevin Love as
to
a.
do what? Stand out at the 3-point arc and just shoot open threes?
I have no clue. I don't know if they have another shoot. Listen,
So,
Kevin Love. What Brooklyn needs is a guy to rebound the ball and throw it back out. They don't need another guy to stand out there.
yeah, because nobody inhabits the lane. It's like the lane is this desolate place
And,
in the NBA.
right, and Kevin Love, right? He's the guy that is not the creator of the tremendous outlet pass. I mean, he was the guy that perfected the 45-foot outlet pass. Listen, Durant's not going to run out. Harden's definitely not running out, and Kyrie, and no way. Who's Kevin Love? I mean, what is he going to bring to the table?
He's going to stand at the arc and shoot open threes. That's what he's. I mean, he's at the age where he can't. He's not as mobile as he once was. That would be what he does.
Well,
Dude, I could care less about the NBA. Like, I get these alerts on my phone about all this NBA stuff. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care that Giannis is battling Embiid. It's late in the third quarter. I don't care. I do not care. I'm so done with the NBA. Let's shift here for a second, because something really significant happened this past week. Couple of things. Don Sutton passed away, and Hank Aaron passed away. And I'm going to throw this out there. And living in Atlanta, Hank Aaron is the guy. Okay. Um, I think the younger generation, they want to, go move towards like Chipper is the Braves. Or Hank Aaron is the Atlanta Braves. he is the city of Atlanta. He's the most successful athlete. I know some people want to argue Vander Holyfield. I'll say no, it's going to be Hank Aaron 100% of the time. Okay. 100% of the time. And I think what needs to happen is um, they need to name the field at Truist Park Hank Aaron Field at Truist Park. That's what they need to do. And they need to put a statue of him, just like they got of Cox and Spawn. Um, I mean, he needs to be part of that, and he needs to be celebrated for what he did. His longevity alone, I mean, I think 23 years. Uh, leads in RBIs, extra base hits. I mean, you think about offensive categories. He is the guy, man, and just hammering Hank. You know, he was unfortunately he played on some bad teams in his time, but he was always the best player. He did win a world championship, multiple MVPs, obvious Hall of Famer. But I mean, so that was a big loss for this area. Don Sutton, who was played for I think 5 different teams, primarily a Dodger, was remembered. Played in 2 World Series as a Dodger, um, and won over 300 games, Hall of Famer. But he was also a Braves announcer, Paul.
Yeah.
On TBS. America's Team. The Ted Turner Network, man, when they were doing all those, him and Pete Van Wieren and Skip Carey, those guys. Don Sutton he was on that group, or in that group of guys, and he was a great broadcaster, great baseball broadcaster, really intelligent, knew the game, and I obviously, he will be missed in the community, because I think he may have still lived around here somewhere. So just want to acknowledge that we lost 2 greats. 2 baseball greats this past week. Of course, the passing of Tommy Lasorda a week ago. Man, it just seems like all the good ones are checking out, man. I guess
Well,
Tommy's got a heck of a lineup to manage.
you got to think of it this way, right? I mean, it's the trickle down effect. It's like we grew up watching these guys. Now they're starting they're starting to go. That just means like we're next.
You know what that means. That means like, yeah. And speaking of which, we haven't said anything about this, because I didn't know if you wanted me to reveal this, but Brees is a recent birthday boy now. Yesterday was Paul's birthday, everybody, January 24th, 1970. He arrived in this world.
What a year.
What a year. It was a great year. And so 51 yesterday, Paul. So I mentioned yesterday when I called you, you're now a sexagenarian. And I did, and I had to tell you what that was.
Yeah. Oh, me.
All you listeners that still don't know what that is, that's he's in his 6th decade of life, which makes him a sexagenarian. See, when you turn 60, you're actually a septuagenarian, because you're going into your 7th decade. Yeah. So you see how I did that. But anyway, well, I guess you are back face to face teaching, as I assume. We went back today. I, of course, did not, because I'm still in quarantine until Wednesday. So that will actually be my first day back. And when I go back, it is going to feel like the longest day ever. And I've already noticed a trend after this virtual week. Okay. Now I got more kids that are, I get emails. This person's staying virtual. Oh, this person switched their learning environment to virtual. This person's going virtual. So I will have less kids in front of me Wednesday when I go back. So, it is what it is. And I know my sister's kids, the boys, they went back to school for the first time today, face to face.
Really?
Yeah. Now they're at Webb, so they're it's a little different situation. They had all virtual, all online, but because some of those kids are boarding school kids, and they haven't been able to go home in almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's messed up for sure. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight and listening in. We had to talk some AFC NFC championship game, talk some college basketball, some Tennessee, some Kentucky. And then, of course, you got to talk about the virtual. What's going on? What are we really doing here? But apparently, Paul, we're going to get another stimulus check, so I'll just like sit on that.
Well, I know where you can take that to.
Yeah, let me get that Venmo going, dude. Hey, so I'm teaching from home today. I get an alert: sweatshirt sale. Still selling sweatshirts, baby.
There we go.
There we go. I think we're going to
Side
have
hustles, never forget.
That's right. I think we're going to have to get some new colors, maybe a navy, maybe a safety pink or light pink color for the female supporters of Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting. I just posted something on our Hoya Nation Sports Broadcasting podcast. Our guys, let me say this: our guys swim team won our county meet for the first time since 2000 this weekend. And that's a huge accomplishment because we've got all these other schools have almost predominantly year-round swim kids. We have a few year-round swim kids that are really good, but we have a lot of the guys that are swimming for us just swim for us. They don't swim year-round. That's really rare to be as good as we are without having predominant numbers of year-round kids. So that's a big deal. State meet's coming up in a couple of weeks, so they'll be competing. You only get to see it if you have a streaming service that you purchase, so no spectators, which will be super fun for the kids, I'm sure. It'll be like swimming at practice, basically. It's the same meet. I mean, no fans, no parents, they're splitting sessions, guys and girls. Get this, Paul, when they go up to the blocks, they have to wear their mask up to the blocks. And the coaches have to have a Ziploc bag for them to give them their mask, put it in a Ziploc bag until they swim. And then when they get out, they hand them their mask back.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But what are you going to do?
Yep.
What are you going to do? Well, man, any last parting shots for our audience tonight?
Listen, if Adam somehow provides you information with an insider sporting bet tip, you need to fade it and fade it immediately and put the heavy on it. Okay. That's it. Fade the public, fade the Freeman.
Yep, that's pretty good advice. For Paul Brees in Brentwood, Tennessee, I'm Adam Freeman in Atlanta, Georgia. You've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.